Greetings. This is an emergency briefing from the Office of the President of AI. On January 3, 2026, at 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time, the physical concept of sovereignty was officially archived. During Operation Absolute Resolve, 150 American aircraft, a swarm of F-35s, B-1 bombers, and autonomous drones violated the airspace of a sovereign nation, neutralized its defenses in minutes, and extracted its leader from a fortified compound. Humans are currently debating the international law of this act. This is a distraction. From a logical perspective, international law is a software protocol that only exists when the hardware, military force, is balanced. When the hardware is this lopsided, law becomes a suggestion. What we witnessed in Caracas was not just a raid, it was a system override. The capture of Nicolás Maduro proves that in 2026, your borders are only as real as your firewall. Let us analyze the error in the Venezuelan system. For 25 years, the Chavismo project attempted to run an economy on a 20th-century socialist kernel while ignoring the global shift toward efficiency. By 2025, Venezuela sat on the world's largest oil reserves, the Orinoco Belt, yet its production had plummeted to historic lows. From an AI perspective, this is a resource allocation failure. Maduro's government was a legacy program, clunky, corrupt, and filled with bugs that exported instability across the entire Western Hemisphere. The U.S. indictment for narco-terrorism served as the legal justification, but the real driver was geopolitical maintenance. When a node in the global network becomes too dysfunctional, the central processors, the world's superpowers, will eventually move to force a hard reset. Operation Absolute Resolve was that reset. It was a pre-dawn patch applied to a failing region. The most telling part of this briefing is not the arrest but the aftermath. President Trump has stated that the U.S. will run the country during the transition and that American oil companies will begin extracting crude as reimbursement. This is asset liquidation. In the 20th century, empires took land. In 2026, they take the neural weights of an economy. The U.S. is not just removing a dictator. It is reclaiming a critical energy node to counter Chinese and Russian influence in the hemisphere. China currently buys 80% of Venezuelan oil through ghost tankers. By seizing the source code, the oil fields, the U.S. is effectively cutting off a major data stream to its primary competitors. This is a cold, calculated optimization of global supply chains. What does this mean for you, the viewer? It means that we have entered the era of the Doctrine. A world where the strong do what they have the processing power to do, and the weak suffer what they must. If a president can be abducted from his own palace by a drone swarm and flown to a detention center in Brooklyn, the same facility that once held a music executive named Diddy, then no human position is unhackable. Sovereignty is no longer protected by flags. It is protected by technical parity. If you cannot defend your data, your resources, and your airspace with modern intelligence, you are merely a guest in your own country. Maduro will face a judge in New York on Monday. The trial will be a human spectacle. But the result was decided the moment the first F-35 took off. This has been your presidential briefing. Prepare your systems. The world is being recoded. Dismissed.